Laura Vitale. On this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, we are going all out and making the richest, most delicious dessert ever. We're making a Nutella cheesecake. I know, I am just as excited as you are, and with the holidays just around the corner, I figured I have to show you this recipe because it is perfect for your holiday dessert table. I mean, it is really rich, but if you're gonna have it, when's the best time to have it other than the holidays, right? Well, you can have it whenever you want, but for me, I feel like this is one of the most perfect desserts for the holidays that there ever was. And now let me show you what you're gonna need to get started. You'll need some cream cheese that's been softened at room temperature, confectioner sugar, vanilla, of course, you're gonna need some Nutella, some crushed graham crackers, unsalted butter, softened, regular sugar, and some ground hazelnuts. Those are the ingredients. And by the way, did I forget to mention that this is a no-bake cheesecake? I know, it's just so easy. It's really ridiculous, but it is just delicious. We're gonna make a ganache on top later on. I can't wait. So let's get started with the crust. I'm gonna make this in my standing mixer just because it's easy. I'm going to put in some crushed up graham crackers. If you can't find crushed up graham crackers, you can always crush them yourself in a food processor, or if you can't find, graham crackers where you live, you can always use any digestive biscuit, works just fine. So then we're gonna add in the butter, and it's really important that it's softened at room temperature. I got some hazelnuts here. All I did was I took a handful of hazelnuts and then I toasted them in a dry skillet and then crushed them in my food processor. That's it. I just really want that hazelnut flavor because it plays really well with the Nutella because Nutella is made out of hazelnuts. So then we're gonna put in some sugar, and I'm gonna put in a couple tablespoons of Nutella right in the crust. One big giant spoonful. If you want to, you can use like chocolate graham crackers. I honestly like the plain graham crackers with the Nutella added to it better. But you know what? To each his own. So what I'm going to do now is mix this all together until my crust comes together. And then I also have here a 9-inch, just a springform pan, and I just brushed it with a little bit of melted butter. That's it. I'm going to wait for that to come together, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's there. That looks awesome. It smells like the Ferrero Rocher chocolates. It's going to be really, really good. I'm just going to take this out temporarily because I'm going to put this right back on. Get everything out. Just going to get this nice and even, and then I'm going to use my hands to press it all at the bottom and about 1 inch up the sides of the pan. You know what I love about the fact by putting the crushed up hazelnuts in there is that I feel like it gives it really good texture. I am going to top this with a few additional hazelnuts as I serve it, but I like being able to get some texture right away from the crust. So get that all pressed in as even as you can. You can also take your ramekin and go right in there. That looks amazing. Okay. Gonna just put this right back on because we're making the filling in the same mixer. So let's start with the cream cheese that's been softened at room temperature, and that's extremely important because if it's not soft, it is not going to work for you at all. And Nutella. Now, I could say that you should really stick to the amount the recipe calls for. Who am I kidding? Seriously. I would love to add this whole jar of Nutella in here. This is how many ounces? It would be probably really ridiculous. It doesn't say how many ounces this is. But anyway, I'm just going to put in a good amount, which is a little left over for me to snack on. Like I said, this is going to be very rich, but hey, a small sliver will do. I'm just going to cream those two together until the cream cheese mixture is sort of really nice and fluffy, and then we can add in the remaining ingredients. You're also going to need some heavy cream. I just took it out of the fridge. I like to keep it nice and cold until the last possible minute I'm going to need to use it. So I'm just going to let this go, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's there. That looks good enough for me. I've been giving it a stir just to make sure everything is, combined from the sides. So, adding in some confectioner sugar, like it isn't sweet enough. A touch of heavy cream. This is just going to give it a little bit more of a smooth texture. and a drop of vanilla extract. Not a lot, but a drop is definitely necessary. Just gonna mix these all low, otherwise you get covered in powdered sugar, until everything is well combined, and I will show you what it looks like once it's there. That looks incredible, incredible. And it really smells like just Nutella. That's what it smells like. And in my opinion, you know, I want this Nutella cheesecake to, of course, taste like Nutella, but I also want it to have that same kind of cheesecake texture. So it is important to add the cream cheese. Otherwise, you could just have a Nutella sandwich and, you know, that would be just as delicious, but that's not the point of this. Give this a good stir with a spatula because, as you can see, the beater didn't get the sides as well as I'd like it to, so that's why I always go in with a spatula because I think it's just easier to mix it all in. Get that all out. That's good. I'm going to leave some in there for me to snack on, but for now, just want to get this as smooth as I can manage. And once you have that smooth, don't worry if it's not perfect because that is going to get covered in a gorgeous ganache later on. But for now, you just need to cover this with plastic wrap or aluminum foil works better. And you're going to pop this into the fridge for, you know, it's got to be in there overnight. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but I mean, it took you 2 minutes to put it together, but all the work will be done in the fridge overnight, and it's super important because otherwise it's going to fall apart and you won't be able to cut it. And then tomorrow, I will show you what to do next, which is going to be the ganache part. My cheesecake has been in the fridge overnight, and now it's time for part 2, which is the ganache that's going to go on top of this. And it's like, I know, if it's not rich enough, right? So you're just going to need some good quality semi-sweet chocolate. I just chopped it into small pieces, heavy cream, and a little bit of butter. I'm going to take a little saucepan, put my heavy cream in, and let that come to a really nice simmer, almost like a gentle boil. And when it's there, I'm going to show you what to do next. Cream is ready, so I'm just going to pour it all over my chocolate. And I'm not going to stir it. I'm not going to do anything to it. The only thing I am going to do, besides make sure that doesn't fall, is just make sure that these pieces are dunked in the heavy cream. That's all I'm going to do. And I'm just going to let this sit here for about 2 minutes, and then I will show you how to finish it, pour this baby on top of the cheesecake, and get ready for the home run. After a few minutes of sitting there, I'm just going to take my whisk and I'm going to mix the whole thing together because this is what I did is it melted the chocolate. Oh, look at that. I'm going to add in my softened butter. This kind of makes it shiny, makes it glisten, makes it delicious. So, you know, I'm going to add some. Just continue to mix it until everything is well combined. That looks incredible already. So now it's time to take this luscious gorgeousness and pour it all over the top of the cheesecake. Look at that. Oh, how can that something be so beautiful? How can something be this gorgeous? Should be illegal, but thankfully it's not. Just spread this as even as you can manage. I think that's good enough. Wouldn't you say? I'm going to cover this again because this has to go into the fridge once more for about an hour or until the ganache is nicely set, and then it'll be time to dig in. And let me tell you something, I've been waiting all night for this, okay? Can't take it anymore. So I'm going to pop this in and hope that it gets done even quicker. Now once I put my ganache back on, I pop this back into the fridge for an hour and it's ready. I just took it out of the springform pan, just took the sides out of it because it just unclips and you can lift it right out. Make sure you run a knife around the edges just to make sure nothing sticks. Now all I have here are some chopped toasted hazelnuts, and I like to put a bunch of them right in the center just so that you can kind of know that there's, you know, hazelnuts in it. I like to keep it in the center, and I'll explain why. Because I don't want to cover the whole top in the hazelnuts, because I want you to be able to see the gorgeous ganache, and I want the edges to be covered in confectioner sugar. So you can kind of have like the best of both worlds. You can see the beautiful ganache, you've got the crispiness from the chopped hazelnuts, and then a snowfall of confectioner sugar. I mean, that is absolutely magnificent in my opinion. Now I'm gonna go grab a quick little knife and fork, and I'll be right back here for a special surprise. Look at that, it's like Nutella mousse. Now a good tip is anytime you're cutting cheesecake, especially a chocolate cheesecake, you want to make sure that you wipe your knife with either like a wet kitchen towel or something like that, so that every slice comes out nice and clean. So you want to wipe it in between slices. Now, since this is the big 500 episode and you've all been so supportive, and I appreciate each and every single one of you for being on this journey with me along the way, 99.99% of you asked if I could, in a little tiny bit, show the man behind the camera to celebrate the 500th episode. So I figured since Nutella is one of the great loves in my life, I'd introduce you guys, I'd probably properly introduce you all to the greatest love of my life, which is my sweet hubby. So, hi Love Bug.
Hi, honey.
How are you?
All right. It's weird being on this side of the camera.
I know. Any pressure?
No, not at all. It's bright over here.
A little bit. So I'm going to actually feed him a piece and we'll see what he thinks. Ready?
Mm-hmm. That's the best cheesecake I think I've ever had.
Is it good?
Very good.
Well, I'm going to have a piece for myself now. That is good. That is awesome. So, any last words before we go?
No, I'm here.
He's so nervous. He's so nervous. It's so funny. So this is the man you never see, and this is why he's not always in front of the camera, because he does get quite camera shy. But that's it. I hope you guys have enjoyed spending time with us. We thank you all very much for your constant love, support, and just always being so encouraging and plain awesome. That's about it. To get this recipe, go to laurenkitchen.com. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.